Hey, beautiful souls, it's Sierra here, your women's faith coach, previous hairstylist for over 20 years, and this is episode one, season one of my transition from being a hairstylist to becoming a women's faith coach. So stay tuned. So, for starters, I never thought that I would walk away from being a hairstylist, but I just kept feeling the nudge deep down inside that God was calling me to do something more. What that more was, I had no idea what it was. But if you were following me on YouTube, you can go back to my previous videos, maybe to a year or two ago. And I had started to make these like motivational videos about mental health and working out and just taking care of yourself overall as a person. And it's crazy and strategic how God works because I never thought that was setting me up to be where I'm at today. So I love when the Bible says don't despise small beginnings. So back to the story, back to the baseline. So when I first heard God calling me to do something more, I was still inside of my suite. I was doing hair. And I can just remember it feeling extremely drained, like mentally drained, physically drained, emotionally drained. But I still had this love for doing hair. And I was like, asking myself like, and I was asking God like, what is this? Why do I feel this way? I still showed up every day. I still service my clients. I still tried to be in that space as much as I could because you have to remember I've been doing this for 20 years and I felt like that was my calling. And what I wrestled with the most was everybody knew me as Sierra the hairstylist. Like I've been in local magazines, DFW shout outs. I've been in the Voyage Dallas DFW magazine. I think I made them like 3 or 4 years in a row, back to back. So I was known for, being this hairstylist. My family, like, we know Sierra, she gonna twist us up, she gonna braid us up, she gonna sew us in. This is what we know her for. And so it was hard when things started to get hard for me, but this how God works. He started to push me out of that space because I wasn't leaving. I was the little kid holding on when you dropped them off at daycare, screaming and hollering. I was not leaving. No, you can't tell me I gotta leave. But he started to make things hard. He started to slow down my clientele. He started to have me deal with more difficult people. And that's when I really got pushed out of doing hair. But I still wasn't in this space of being a women's faith coach. And so we'll get into that and I'll tell y'all how that happened. So fast forward, here we are at mid 2024. Well, let me rewind. Back in 2023, I started a podcast. I started a podcast called Divine Dialogues Podcast, and it was like just motivational words, kind of like the YouTube videos I was doing. And I just got on Spotify and I just put it out there. I wasn't really promoting it, I wasn't pushing it. It was just the thing I was doing. I was like, I feel led to share a word. I feel led to be an encourager, which I feel like I'm an encourager. So I was like, let me do a podcast. So I did that at the beginning of 2023, as a matter of fact, and I stopped. By the end of 2023, I don't know what had happened. Life blew over and I just stopped doing that. And came to 2024, something was like, pick it back up. And I was like, pick the podcast back up. So I'm in my room right now and I have a closet and I live by a busy street, which I'm so thankful for this mic, y'all. If you see it, tap the orange shopping cart to get you one. But it suppresses a lot of noise. So I used to have to go in my closet to record, and I used to have to do it like late at night because you can hear my neighbors. They probably can hear me, and so I would be up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning recording episodes for my podcast. And I was like, maybe it's time to start putting a visual to my podcast. So I made this TikTok page. This page used to be Divine Dialogues Podcast. I used to just dedicate that to letting people know what my next episode was, basically building that traffic to come from my social media over to my podcast. Fast forward, here we are, 2025, and God called me completely from behind the chair and was like, I need you to go out. I need you to go and get your sisters. I need you to go and help your sisters. And I'm like, my sisters, my daddy got 12 kids, but I'm like, you want me to help them? And he was like, no, I need you to do something much bigger. I need you to help women. I need you to, you're already in position. You got the podcast, you got the TikTok. I want you to start to really show up and be who I called you to be. And so I just want to end this video with saying, have you ever felt that nudge that God has caused you to do more in this life and to be more in this life, and you're wrestling with that transition because you feel like you could be this and that? And sometimes God does call us to be this and that, but you know that He's calling you to leave something alone to do something greater. I know all about that. So I want y'all to stay tuned to episode 2, and I'll continue telling you guys like the rest of my story. But ask yourself that question. Do you feel that nudge? Do you know what that nudge might be? And how are you feeling about that nudge? And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Bye.